Hello, good evening and welcome to Hot Edition, the hottest 1 hour on radio. My name is Martin Asiedu-Dartey. Coming up this evening, the Electoral Commission faces huge backlash after rescheduling district assembly elections in parts of Eastern and Ashanti regions over unavailability of election materials. We have details of this particular story and we'll be touching base with all our correspondents to find out how polls have gone within the last few hours. Also coming up this evening, we'll bring you a rundown of how things played out at the local polls, considered by many as a dress rehearsal for the 2024 general elections. That's our big story for this evening. This is Hot Edition, your hottest 1 hour on radio, live on 3FM 92.7. Let's settle for the details of our stories now, and certainly today has been a very busy electoral day. Did you vote? You listening to us right now, did you vote? Let's know how the process went for you and from where specifically you voted from. But diving straight into our stories for this evening, what was to be a seamless one-day exercise to elect representatives in the over 6,000 polling centers and districts across the country has left stakeholders questioning the preparedness of the Electoral Commission for the 2024 elections. The EC earlier in the day announced it was rescheduling to December 21 the district-level elections in some electoral areas in the Ashanti and Eastern regions. The exercise, which was supposed to have come off across centers between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m., has been characterized by late start to voting in some centers, disruptions, and the biggest of them all, perhaps, being the total calling off of the entire exercise in some electoral areas. The EC, ahead of the polls today, had assured Ghanaians about its readiness for what many had considered a dress rehearsal for the 2024 general elections. Let's listen to the chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Madam Jean Mensah, on their preparedness ahead of today.
Election officials have been recruited and trained at the national, regional, and district levels to prepare them adequately for their respective duties. All our election materials and equipment required for the district level elections have been procured in sufficient quantities. Ballot papers for the DLE have also been printed and dispatched to the various regions and districts under police escort. The final register of all 38,315 polling stations have been printed and dispatched to the various regions and districts. In total, 71,775 BVDs have been refurbished and deployed to the various regions and districts. We have also engaged extensively with the security agencies. In addition to that, we've also provided them a list of the flashpoint areas.
And as the chair of the Electoral Commission, Madam Jean Mensah, giving all indications about the readiness of the Electoral Commission ahead of today's exercise. But unfortunately, it seems to have gone otherwise in two major regions, I should say, the Ashanti and Eastern regions, where a number of polling centers could not even start at all because of some irregularities. We'll bring you specific details captured in the EC's letter annulling or calling for a cancellation of the elections in some of these areas where they have given indications that they are going to reschedule those elections for the 21st of December, which is this Thursday. And so I'll bring you excerpts of that. In the meantime, let's listen to some reports coming from the Ashanti and Eastern regions and other parts of the country regarding how the general elections went for them, starting from specifically the central region.
I've also realized that about 5 electoral areas out of 30 electoral areas in Cape Coast South are not voting. I mean, when you go to my electoral area, Tamis as electoral area, they have suspended voting. They are not voting at all. They have not even started. And that one is a component of about 4 polling stations. Up to now, they are not voting. The electoral commissioner has ordered that they should move their things away. In fact, it's quite unfortunate. The issue is that the gentleman raised an alarm. Those who are supposed to vote here are 494, 492, and only 400 ballot papers are brought to this center. So our gentleman raised an alarm that they should actually add the rest, assuming all of them are here to vote. Where would they get the rest of the ballot paper to cast their votes? It means they are attempting to disenfranchise people. Then the gentleman raised an alarm. The electoral commissioner called for his arrest. I mean, it's not done anyway. It's not done anyway because it was a genuine concern and it was a genuine reason the gentleman gave.
So you had those concerns raised by some persons who had turned up to vote in the central region. Let's go to the eastern region, where the EC has come out in a statement to say that they are suspending the voting there due to what it calls technical challenges. Let's listen to them. Then I'll bring you excerpts of the EC statement regarding what the next line of action would be.
Even I don't think that 20% we may have it. No, that's 60. We will not get it. That's the truth. Because look at the time. If 7 o'clock, maybe a friend who is going to work will vote before going to work. But now, even we don't have the ballot papers. I don't know, even today as I'm standing here, I don't know that the election will go on. From my side of the view, or how I see things, I don't think we can vote today. If possible, 20% crowd, we won't get it.
What this one is doing, the people will bash the electoral commissioner. Yes, and nothing is happening. So what do you think people will tell them? And nothing to is coming, even at all. They should call and tell them that, oh, maybe we are coming, or try to console the people that will come. But up to now, you've not even spoken to your people who are on the grounds.
Some concerns coming in from the eastern region there. Let's go specifically to the statement of the Electoral Commission, and it is signed by Michael Boedu, who is the acting head of Public Affairs Electoral Commission. And the subject of the statement is that rescheduling of district-level elections in some electoral areas in the Ashanti and eastern regions. The Commission wishes to inform the general public that due to a number of technical challenges, the district-level elections in some electoral areas in the Ashanti and eastern regions have been rescheduled to Thursday, the 21st of December 2023. We apologize for the inconvenience caused residents of these electoral areas. We assure the residents of the affected areas that the district-level elections will be held on Thursday, the 21st of December 2023. And like I indicated, it is signed by Michael Boedu, acting head of public relations for the Electoral Commission. So that's the EC justifying or giving reasons as regards why the two regions have encountered these kind of challenges, and that they will be putting measures in place to reorganize the elections for the 21st of December. In the Ashanti region, though, which the EC mentioned, what exactly happened? Let's go to the phone lines now. Joining us is William Evans Inkum, who is our Ashanti regional correspondent, keeping close tabs on all these for us. William, a very good evening to you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Martin, for having me.
First of all, have polls closed? Can you give indications that polls have closed in the areas where the election took place? And then beyond that, what really happened that almost 20 different places didn't have their election today?
Well, so Martin, call it an anticlimax because the expectations were high, considering the fact that although publicity wasn't that one that you call a top-notch, nonetheless, there were some visibility as far as, the district level election was concerned in the Ashanti region. Right from the morning, we have some challenges with some electoral areas, which had polling stations not being able to partake in the exercise. I mean, for obvious reasons. Two reasons came up. One has to do, and that one has been a widespread, has to do with the fact that they could not print the ballot papers for the unit committee election, so they needed to postpone it. So I can cite a Kwadaso constituency where the Kwadaso North electoral area had to truncate the exercise, or I mean, truncation is not even the word, but didn't come on at all because the EC could not provide the ballot papers for the unit committee. Now, if you go to Africa constituency, there were other 3 electoral areas where which had polling stations but could also not partake in the exercise. Same happened in Astafo electoral area, which also falls within the Subin constituency. Of course, if you go to Achimaka constituency, there were some electoral areas that which had the exercise on hold. And of course, Achimaka North and South, we also had similar situations there. So, yes, polls have closed in some areas, but I can tell you that the turnout was very horrible, just as we predicted in the morning.
And so I'm sure later when the EC said that they were not going to be able to hold the elections, some people may have heard it. When they heard that and that a new date had been scheduled for it, what was their reaction?
Disappointed, because even the very polling station that had, yes, the turnout was very low. How much more those that have been postponed? I am not a prophet of doom, but from what I have gathered on the ground, Martin, I have not seen anything like even a quarter turnout when Thursday EC open polls in some of these outstanding polling stations in the various electoral areas.
Thank you very much, William Evans Inkum, for that update from the Ashanti region, where a number of polling centers could not organize the exercise as a result of technicalities. The EC calls them technical challenges. So it's been rescheduled. Let's go to Dr. Richard Fiadomo, who is the president of the Chamber of Local Governance, Chalag. He's joined us on phone for a quick interview on today's exercise. Doc, a very good evening. Thank you for your time.
Yeah, good evening. Good evening to all the cherished listeners.
Right. First of all, what's your general assessment of today's exercise? It's 15 minutes after 5 p.m. Polls have closed for the last 15 minutes. What would your assessment be?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think generally the polls have been peaceful, but for the incompetence demonstrated by the Electoral Commission in Ashanti region and then the Eastern region, I think everything has been good so far.
And why would you describe the EC's clear challenge? They call it a technical challenge. Why would you describe that as incompetent?
Yeah, thank you very much. The Electoral Commission had a timetable for this election, and they had to go according to their own timetable. So if for some reason they were not able to follow their own timetable, which they gave to us, and we have prepared and planned towards it, you, the media, have done everything you have to do in terms of publicity and all that. And now we come on the day of the election, then you come and tell us technical challenges. What are those technical challenges? And clearly, like your reporter rightly said, what we are fighting hard to make sure that turnout is increased or comes up. They have just shuttled the effort that everybody, including the media, civil society, has done with respect to voter turnout. So clearly, we cannot accept the explanation they are giving to us as technical challenge, because they knew about the date and they had to work within time and schedule to make sure that everything went according to plan, and the election should have taken place in those areas which has been postponed to Thursday.
And the big concern also, beyond the EC's quote-unquote technical challenges, the issue of low turnout has still been recorded across many other places where the voting took place. First, two things. What, in your estimation, is causing these kinds of low patronage of local level elections over the years? And briefly, how can that be addressed going forward?
Thank you very much. For me, comparing elections in terms of low turnout and then the general one is comparing apples to oranges. These are local government elections, and people are voting based on local interest. In the other election, the partisan election, I'm voting for NDC, NPP, CPP, or Afafranto because I have an expectation that should my party win, I'm likely to get an appointment. Should my party win, I'm likely to get a contract. Should my party win, somebody will be appointed and the person knows me, he'll give me a job. I can get scholarship and go and study abroad. Those are expectations, and those are the things that motivate me to vote in the national election. But when it comes to the local election, the motivation factor is the benefit we get from the district assembly. My brother, every year, we hear the Auditor General come out to say that the way the assemblies are messing up with the monies and misappropriating and the corruption that they report. We do not have a situation whereby the district assemblies are socially accountable to us. Because the law is on their side, they are able to collect property rates, business operating permit, market tolls. If you don't pay, they can send you to court, and then the court will fine you and you will pay. Yet, they do not account to us on how they use our money for. So I'm in a local setting. So if I have to vote for a local person to go into an institution that is not giving me value, I'm sorry, I am not motivated to go and vote. So the only way we can have an increment in the voter turnout at local government elections is to get our assemblies, the district assemblies, to be socially accountable, to also be accountable to the people. They should let us know what they use our monies they collect for and the challenges that they have. Then we can all flow along. If not, I can't sit there and an assembly member comes to me, I should vote for him or her to go to an institution that is not accountable to me. I'm sorry, I won't waste my time to go and vote. So clearly, the assemblies, if they become socially accountable to we, the citizens, I'm sure the turnout will go up. But we should not compare the turnout at local government elections with the general elections that we have been having. That may not be the case if you ask my expert opinion on this matter.
Doc, thank you so much for speaking with us this evening. Dr. Richard Fiadomo is the president of the Chamber of Local Governance, Chalog, and they have described what the EC did today in terms of their readiness and the entire supervising of the Electoral Commission, of the electoral process today. He's described it as incompetent. Well, he seems not to be too far away from the statement that has been released by the NDC in the Ashanti region. The NDC in the Ashanti region have released a statement signed by Dr. Frank Amwakohene, Ashanti Regional Secretary of the NDC. And it goes on to say that they are asking or calling out Jean Mensa over her inability to conduct the district level elections. They say that the NDC expresses deep concern and dissatisfaction with the gross incompetence displayed by the Electoral Commissioner Jean Mensa and her commission during today's district level elections. The district level election, as the core of Ghana's democracy, has suffered severe setbacks under her leadership. In the Ashanti region, the challenges faced were particularly egregious, with over 4,310 polling centers experiencing significant delays and others unable to conduct voting due to the lack of essential election materials, including no sufficient ballot papers. This raises serious concerns about the competence and preparedness of the Electoral Commission under Jean Mensa's leadership, especially ahead of the 2024 general elections. Furthermore, the absence of ink to mark voters raises concerns about preventing fraud and multiple voting. The EC must urgently review and address these lapses to ensure the credibility of future elections. Also of great concern is the revelation that certain materials, including hand sanitizers used by the EC in the Ashanti region, were branded with the colors, logos, and even the pictures of the New Patriotic Party, creating an alarming perception of buyers. Well, they have attached some pictures to this statement, but probably if you go to our website, 3news.com, you get specifics of, you get to see the pictures that came with the statement from the NDC in the Ashanti region. But the other part of the statement is that the EC is expected to be impartial and maintain the integrity of the electoral process. The NDC emphasizes the importance of the Electoral Commission being independent, free, and fair. However, the branding of materials with partisan symbols challenges the principle and compromises public trust in the electoral process. Madam Jean Mensa does not inspire confidence of an impartial Electoral Commission under her leadership and must resign as the Commissioner of the Electoral Commission. We believe that her continued leadership threatens the sanctity of our democratic process. We also demand calls on the National Peace Council to intervene, urging Jean Mensah to rectify these issues promptly. The 2024 elections are on the horizon, and it is crucial to address these concerns to avoid greater challenges for Ghana's democracy. So that's the statement from the NDC in the Ashanti region, asking the EC chair, Madam Jean Mensah, to resign. Talking about the NDC, though, and today's election, the flag bearer of the party, that is John Dramani Mahama, has voted, and when he did, he actually cast his ballot at Bole in the Savannah region, and when he did that, he expressed concern over the challenges encountered by the Electoral Commission. The former president urged the EC to ensure that such glitches are not repeated in 2024. Let's listen to John Dramani Mahama moments after he voted.
If God smiles on us and we win the elections of 2024, we're going to take decentralization seriously. The rest of the ministries, departments, and agencies that are still centralized, we're going to complete the decentralization so that we truly hand over power to the people at the local government level. Until we get our decentralization right, Ghana is not going to go anywhere. And so we're going to take it seriously. We're going to make sure that district common fund disbursements increase again from 5 to 7%, which it was in 2016, and that the district assembly's common fund is going to be regular so that districts can take, advantage of it and be able to increase the pace of their development. Assembly members carry a great responsibility, and that if I'm elected president, we will pay them an allowance. Unfortunately, I hear there are glitches in many places. It is my hope that the Electoral Commission will get this act together, because we know that national, presidential, and parliamentary elections are more emotive. And if people go to the polls on 7th December 2024 and some of these glitches occur, it will lead to a lot of chaos.
Former President John Dramani Mahama and NDC flag bearer sharing his thoughts on what he makes of today's challenges after he voted in Bole, which is his initial area where he hails from, where he was member of parliament for 2 terms, and a place where he actually goes to vote every now and then. He touched on a number of the concerns raised by the EC and persons who turned up to vote. Let's find out from Kodeo what they also make of today's exercise, the initial assessment, and going forward, the concerns that have been raised. How can we address them? Paul Abrampa is Programs Manager at CDD Ghana, and he is also with Kodeo. Mr. Abrampa, good evening. Thank you for your time on 3FM.
Good evening.
I'm sure you've deployed a sizable number of men and women around. They've given you feedback. Polls have closed about 25 minutes now. What would your general assessment of today's exercise be?
Yes, so I can't do an assessment of based on reports we're going to issue tomorrow because we've not finished analyzing the reports. And secondly, because of financial challenges, we couldn't deploy the 7,000, the 5,000 as we used to do for previous elections. So we deployed just a little over 400. As a voter and somebody who also went to visit some polling stations in Accra, I can help with the analysis based on that.
Sure, let's hear it. So from the 400, what does
generally the patronage was very, very low. In most of the polling stations I visited in Nima, in Mamobi, in Pig Farm, Jolu, around our office, and also where I vote in Domain, CFC, the patronage was very low. And when I asked some of the EC temporary staff at the polling stations, they also expressed the same thing, that people come just once a while. So it's not different from the previous district level elections that we've had. But I did not observe any incidents of machine breakdown, of incidents of quarrel, of anything. It was just a quiet atmosphere with virtually empty voters.
And what were the other major things you observed regarding the challenges from the side of the Electoral Commission, because they should or are expected to set up for people to come out and vote. If the people are not coming, could it be because of the absence or inability of the EC officials to be ready for them to come and vote?
EC officials to do what? The EC, per the Constitution, is expected to conduct public elections. And the EC does voter education in addition to the other constitutional mandates given to the Electoral Commission. Everybody in Ghana, especially, also plays some role in supporting the efforts of the EC. However, it's very disappointing to note that in district level elections, we all are at fault. If you say we all, I talk of the media, I talk of civil society organizations, everybody in Ghana is at fault. We have neglected district level elections, and the support that we usually give to national elections is not seen in district level elections. And the district level election, because it's also political, the usual mobilization, bathing, and support that political parties give to their supporters. For example, in 6th December of election year, you will see bus terminals packed of passengers who are being committed back to their various electoral areas, constituencies, to go and vote. Because this is not political, you don't see the usual support from people being supported with buses to go and vote. And ordinary people who have registered in their villages would not spend money to go and vote. So there are a number of issues that we need to sit down, analyze, discuss as a country if really we want to be serious with district level elections.
Right. And finally, before you take leave of us, Mr. Brampa, the EC came out with a statement that it had postponed the elections in 2 regions, Ashanti and Eastern. They say it's due to technical challenges. What do you make of the EC's position on this?
Yes, per the statement, some polling stations in the 2 regions, elections could not be held, and the statement did indicate that there were some technical faults, mostly from the service providers who were tasked to print the ballot materials. Yes, this is not a national election. I said so. I'm not downplaying the fact that some electoral areas are not holding their elections today, so it's normal. Of course, there are costs to that to contestants who have already prepared, especially those who will make food for their agents. All these will be cost to them. Preparations, and also if somebody has taken a bus to go and vote, he gets there and says there's no voting today. Will the person stay until the Thursday that the election will be held? So there are challenges with postponing elections in specific areas. But of course, because this is not a national election, results announced from other electoral areas will not have any impact on other electoral areas because they are not generic elections. So for that, we can't be sure. So that is what I make from the postponement. Yes, it's a cost. It's a disappointing. It's time wasting for people who have rather commuted to their villages to go and vote, for candidates who have already prepared food to serve their agents. All these things are costs. But generally, it may not have any impact on results because it's not a generic election.
We are grateful for your time this evening and your thoughts on today's exercise, Paul Abrampa. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
He is the programs manager at CDD Ghana, and he's also with CODEO, an election observer institution. And they have also given their assessment of today's event, saying that tomorrow they will have a better picture of what took place across the country, and will be giving us those updates when they get every fine information from their deployment across the country. So, I mean, generally, if you voted, if you turned up in your area to vote, what do you make of today's exercise? Do let us know. We'll be happy to, at least let the world know that you turned up to vote and these were the issues that you were also faced with. Away from that, let's go on to some other stories now. It broke yesterday, it's still unfolding today, and a leading member of the New Patriotic Party and managing director of the State Transport Company is urging the special prosecutor to probe the allegations of impropriety in the contract handed out to SML for revenue assurance. Latest details in a fourth state investigative documentary has highlighted how the Ghana Revenue Authority and the Finance Ministry handed out contracts to Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited. Speaking to 3FM earlier today, actually, it was on New Day, Nana Kumia, who revealed a planned response by the Finance Ministry, said the OSP must independently probe the issue to safeguard the public purse. Let's listen to Nana Kumia on this.
And yet the managing director himself cannot assure himself of the dealings of the company. It calls for a major inquiry. You asked me what government's response is. I understand the Ministry of Finance would be responding later today, and I'm sure they would also try and come up with their side of the story, and that is normal. Any institution that is accused of wrongdoing and potential loss of public monies should come out and present their side of the story. But really, that should not end the matter. You asked Manasseh, and he confirmed that he has petitioned the Office of the Special Prosecutor. I think it's the right way to go. And even whatever responses the Ministry of Finance will come with, an investigation by the Office of the Special Prosecutor, standing in between the two stories, and doing an independent investigation would then assure us of where the truth lies and whether there has been impropriety and whether public monies have been lost. So I'm looking forward to the response by the Ministry of Finance, and I'm also looking forward, and I support any independent investigation that will go on into this matter.
You heard Nana Kumia, who is a leading member of the New Patriotic Party and also managing director of the State Transport Company, sharing his thoughts on the SML investigation, which has, leveled some corruption and corruption-related activities against SML. Now, he is endorsing the fact that the special prosecutor is to take interest in this subject and also investigate to get to the bottom of it. Meanwhile, SML Ghana Limited, the downstream petroleum service provider at the center of the recent fourth estate investigation, has challenged the accusations leveled against them to show proof of wrongdoing in their operations. They have denied receiving any monies from government and insist their activities have saved the country revenues in excess of 3 billion cedis, which would have been lost in taxes. Prince Sapong is head of downstream information technology at SML Ghana Limited.
So SML is not part of the mainstream activities of the downstream operations, but we are at a place structured at the place that will let us monitor the orders that are being done in the ERDMS system that eventually comes into the ICOM system where revenue is being paid. So we have meters installed at all the gantry points, and we assure GNRA that the volumes that are being reported by the OMCs are actually the orders and the volumes that taxes need to be paid on. So when we get all these data, what we do with this data is we don't just monitor, we also audit. We don't leave it there. So the second phase that we did was to install automatic tank gauging system, and that is currently what we are doing. And for now, we have installed it at all the boss sites. And this automatic tank gauging system can tell the volume of products in the tank. With this, we aim to eliminate the customer officers climbing the tanks every morning, so that to go and check the volume measurement in the tank. Because with the ATGs, which is the automatic tank gauging system, you can actually know the exact products in the tank in real time. So this is what we are doing. And the third phase is we also are at the depots, where every truck that leaves the depot, there's a waybill. So when the waybill is scanned, it comes into our system. So GRA don't need to keep waybills in sacks. With the system, there's an archive, there's a historian that anytime you want a waybill for reference, for audits, because you're not just doing monitoring, you're doing audits. We can use that as evidence to support our claim that the product has actually been lifted. So when we get the data, we do a lot of reconciliation. We reconcile the volume that our meters are giving us with the volume that is being declared in ICOS. And we also reconcile it with our waybill volumes, which actually gives you the standard data and the ambient data. So with this reconciliation, SML can actually generate expected revenue that is due to GRA. So we don't work in isolation. We work with GRA and we collaborate and work together. And SML has a team of experts and people, experienced people who are innovative and they know the work that we are doing. It's not like we are inexperienced. We have a team of expatriates who work with us. When we started in 2020, SML, when we started recording the volumes in 2020, SML recorded significant increase in volumes because before 2018, the data that was available to us 2015 to 2019, averagely, the average fuel liftings was 350 million liters. But in our first monitoring and the volume that we recorded for the three major products, which is diesel, petrol, and LPG, SML recorded 450 million liters.
And you heard the voice of one of the leading members of the SML Ghana Limited, who actually have denied some of the accusations leveled against them. So it seems to be their story versus what the Fourth Estate came out with. Like we also indicated, we are waiting to hear what the Finance Ministry will be saying regarding this. Let's listen to... let's engage Grace Hamwa Ajiman, who is my colleague who actually was at the premises of SML Ghana Limited earlier today. Grace, good evening. Thank you for joining us on 3FM. To start with, what was the posturing of the leadership of SML about the allegations of, the allegations that have been brought against them?
Yes, Martin, the leaders of SML, I would say, were in a state of shock and disbelief. Shock and disbelief because they tell me that last year when the Fourth Estate team came to their premises, they told them that they were engaging in, or they were putting together an open documentary about the operations of actors in the downstream sector. And so they took them through how they operate, how they gather their data, the contracts they have with government, explain to them how government hasn't paid them a penny because of the type of agreement they have with government. And so they are shocked that after everything, the explanation they gave to Fourth Estate, they come out and put out such a documentary just to taint their image. So they think that the Fourth Estate did not get a proper understanding of how they work, and that is why they put out a documentary of that stature out there into the media.
So beyond the conversation they had with the media today and, trying to properly tell their side of the story, do they intend taking any further action?
They didn't give us the impression of taking any further action, like a legal action or seeking redress anywhere. They told us that they know that what they are doing is correct. They haven't engaged in any wrongdoing. And so they'll keep on doing what they want to do. If the Fourth Estate or any other body is not pleased with what they do, they can take it up. So they say if the Fourth Estate has petitioned the OSP, they will wait for the investigation to follow through, and then whatever comes out, they are ready to face whatever comes out because they know they haven't engaged in any form of wrongdoing. So they have rather challenged the Fourth Estate to provide proof of wrongdoing in the activities or for any of the allegations that the Fourth Estate has put out beside or beyond the documentary that they have produced lately.
Most grateful for your time, Grace Hamwa Ajiman, my colleague who was at the premises of SML Ghana Limited earlier today to assess or at least get first-hand information from their side regarding these accusations leveled against them regarding some corruption and corruption-related activities with their operations. The OSP is taking a look at it. We'll update you subsequently. This is still 3FM 92.7. This has been Hot Edition live from our studio here at the Sunway in Accra. And let's shift our attention to some education-related stories now, because the Ghana National Association of Teachers has asked the West Africa Examination Council, WAEC, to provide evidence on alleged use of artificial intelligence by some students in the WAEC or the WASI exams that ended a few months ago. WAEC on Monday announced that some subjects' results of candidates from 235 schools have been withheld for collusion and the use of artificial intelligence-generated answers. General Secretary of NAT, Thomas Musa Tanko, spoke about the issue with our correspondent Daniel Opoku.
He who alleges must prove it. So, aside that one, our legal system follows what we call the accusatorial principle. If you make a claim, you will have to prove it. And so until I see clearly from WAEC's end of on their letterhead making that claim, they will need to add the evidence to it as to how it happened. But until such a time, I think we need to tread cautiously when some of these things come. Okay, because we are talking about reputations, people, I mean, the work that people have done over the years and all. So when you hear this kind of things, we need to tread cautiously. If WAEC should write something like this, WAEC will need to give us evidence to interrogate. So for now, we cannot confirm whether this thing is coming from WAEC or not.
So further investigation.
Yes. So for now, I don't think that it must take the center stage. First, WAEC will need to confirm to us whether this story is from them. If it's from them, then they will need to explain to us how it happened. But at such a time, I think we need to tread cautiously so that we should not attribute anything to WAEC when there is currently no evidence to establish that statement is all what is circulating on social media is coming from WAEC.
Thomas Musa Tanko, General Secretary of the Ghana National Association of Teachers, also expressing their thoughts on WAEC's latest results, which have been released. According to the Ghana National Association of Teachers, they are asking for further evidence to prove that the answers that were given by some of the students were IA generated or artificial intelligence generated answers that were used for the questions at the last WAEC exam. Details of all this and more you can find on our website 3news.com. But on the face of it, that will be it for the bulletin. It came your way from our studio here at Desawe in Accra. Time now for business, and after business, we'll have sports and entertainment as well. Michael Ogbodu joins us briefly with the latest in the world of business.
Hello there, good evening and welcome to the business segment here on Hot Edition. Coming up this evening, Bank of Ghana says it has corrected data integrity weaknesses by banks which resulted in misreporting, leading to failures of some financial institutions in 2016. I am Michael Obodo. I'll bring you details of this and many more shortly. Stay with us. Well, thank you for staying. Straight into our top story now. Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Asiedu-Dartey, has pointed out that his outfit has invested heavily in technology to correct some of the weaknesses it inherited with data integrity by banks that misreported, leading to failures in banks and other specialized deposit-taking institutions as in 2016. According to him, 2023 has been challenging but fulfilling.
The Bank of Ghana has, in the past few years, championed policies and implemented financial market infrastructures that have created a supportive environment for the digital delivery of financial services. Currently, the sector can boast of a variety of digital financial services, including payments, credit, savings, and investment products that are offered by banks and fintechs. New business models have emerged through fintech channels and removed barriers to microcredit, as well as paved the way for affordable and convenient inward remittance services. These interventions have fostered financial inclusion in the country, evidenced by the phenomenal improvement in financial access from 41% in 2014 to 68% in 2021, according to the Global Findex report of the World Bank.
That was Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Asiedu-Dartey, speaking there. Now, the Director of the Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy, Benjamin Nsia, has proposed allowing transporters to utilize their own tracking systems rather than relying on the National Petroleum Authority (NPA's) system. This suggestion stems from concerns about the cost effectiveness of the NPA's system. The proposal comes amid recent increases in both the fuel market margin, designed to combat smuggling and adulteration, and the Unified Petroleum Price Fund (UPPF), managed by the NPA and other stakeholders. Both margins have jumped from 4 pesos to 9 pesos per litre, raising concerns about the overall cost burden on consumers.
I think that the time has come for NPA to perform its regulation, which is very, very accurate to perform it. But we must also liberalize the whole transport sector, right? And liberalization means that transporters must begin to comply with the established acts or sections of the NPA Act, established regulations of the industry, right? But compliance also means that NPA must allow them to have their own tracking devices because they pay twice as much as NPA takes from them. So if, for example, the transporters themselves were to track their products, were to make sure that the products that leave depots get to the right retail outlets, they will pay far less compared to what NPA is taking. So if NPA liberalizes, they can also even get their vendors who will give them even cheaper systems than what NPA is giving. Fuel marking, UPPF, all these monies or funds that go to NPA must be liberalized and owned by the transporters themselves and not the NPA.
So that was Benjamin Nsia. He's the director for the Center for Environmental Management and Sustainable Energy. Now, away from that, some oil marketing companies have initiated price cuts for petroleum products at their fuel stations. Leading the reduction is market leader GOIL, now offering a reduction for both petrol and diesel by more than 40 pesos. The following 3 Business News Desk report has more.
GOIL now offers a litre of petrol at 12 cedis 39 pesos, down from the earlier 12 cedis 80 pesos as of this morning, December 19, 2023. Simultaneously, diesel is now priced at 12 cedis 99 pesos per litre, a decrease from 13 cedis 30 pesos. The industry awaits adjustments from other OMCs, especially since many refrained from revising prices during the last pricing window between November 15, 2023 and November 30, 2023. Despite market indicators signaling a marginal drop in petroleum product prices, some OMCs cited the cedi's depreciation as a reason for maintaining prices during the previous period. Additionally, market analysts suggest that firms may be leveraging these reductions to recover from losses incurred during the recent surge in petroleum prices.
So that was a 3 Business News Desk report bringing you updates on a drop in fuel prices at the pumps across the country, bringing an end to the business segment here on Hot Edition. For more business stories, please check out our website, 3news.com. I am Michael Obodu. Thank you for listening. As always, please stay safe. Up next is sports, and Kelvin is on standby.
Let's get into the latest in the world of sports. My name is Kelvin Osuansa, and Mediama SC will be playing their CAF Champions League game tomorrow. But before then, Abdul Karim Zito and Dreams FC will be playing their fifth game in the CAF Confederation Cup. Well ahead of the game, Karim Zito and his men know what they have to do to grab maximum points at the Barbara Sports Stadium on Wednesday, where kickoff against Academic Lobito is at 3 p.m.
They told me exactly what I wanted to hear. So we are prepared for this game, because in terms of the result to us is wanting to win will carry us into this game, not to win. Wanting to win will carry us into the game today. So we are ready for it. Would like to know.
Well, ready for that big clash. Our guest Martin Asiedu-Dartey of Mediama SC would also be looking forward to getting maximum points. After 2 games in the last 2 matches that they've played, they've recorded just 4 points. He believes it is not enough if they want to qualify to the semi-finals.
4 out of 9 points from 3 games. It's not convincing to me as a coach of the side. And on the other hand, Younger also 2 points behind me from 3 games speaks of how Younger is determined to match us come tomorrow. I need to be cautious. I need to map a strategy that will help Mediama.
So that is from a guest in Martin Asiedu-Dartey. This evening, Chelsea play against Newcastle in the EFL Cup. Well, Mauricio Pochettino is not under any pressure to use Christopher Nkunku in the game.
My worry is to put too much pressure on him and to say, oh, now he's arrived the guy that is going to make us to win every single game and to change everything. And I don't believe that it's going to be like this, because he now needs time to recover his feeling. Hope that the star maybe tomorrow play and score 3 goals and then be consistent. But the most important thing is not to create too many pressure on him, because he needs to find himself in the
He needs to find himself. But Eddie Howe is relishing that opportunity to be another big side after defeating Manchester City as well as Manchester United in the build-up to this game.
The 2 draws we had previously to this one was probably as difficult as you could get. Manchester City, whether it's home or away, and Manchester United away, and then of course we get Chelsea away. So, but I think the beauty of the 2 games we've had previously is we've proved that we can raise our game against the top teams in a cup competition that brought so many great memories for us last year, and I think we're determined to try and progress. We're determined to try and create more memories.
So that is from Chelsea's big game against Newcastle United this evening. Don't forget that in the Club World Cup, there is also another big game coming up between Manchester City and Urawa Red Diamonds. Fluminense defeated Al Ahly last night. So we're expecting another big team to qualify. And unfortunately for Nottingham Forest, manager Steve Cooper, he's been axed from his role. He was appointed when Nottingham were 24th in the championship, but now has been sacked as he lies 17th on the Premier League log. Akofa comes your way with entertainment.
Very much, Kelvin, for bringing us up to speed and all that's happening in the world of sports. Now it's our time to get into the entertainment news segments right here on Hot Edition, powered by 3 Entertainment. My name is Akofa. The semi-finals night of TV3 Mentor ended with Bino Ayoni winning star performer for the 3rd time. 3 contestants, High Five, Siska and Bino, have made it to the grand finale, leaving Tishan Ruler, Elboat and Majesty in the hands of viewers to determine their fate. Here's a report by 3 Entertainment on how things transpired on the night.
The ongoing TV3 Mentor continues to pull pleasant surprises as competitors up their games ahead of the grand finale. The much-anticipated semi-finals of Mentor Season 12 came off last night in 2 rounds. The first part of the semi-final showdown took the form of 3 battles, where the contestants were pitched against one another on stage during the live performance.
Some call me the bad boy king. If you happy me, you'd man a VIP. Pop City dancehall king. Know some of them are like mine.
This said the no mercy. I'm a one part program, but let's we can talk. Wow.
The freestyle round featured performances by the contestants individually.
I pray every day to see the falling of the wicked man. I know that wickedness will prevail, but only for a little while. And a slice of Mount Zion is forever.
The highly competitive semi-final edition of the show ended with Bino winning star performer for the 3rd time in a row. Bino, Siska, and High Five have qualified for the finals of the Mentor competition. But here comes the twist. Tishan Ruler, Majesty, and Elboat were the bottom 3 for the night. Viewers, however, have until Wednesday to vote for one of them to make it to the finale. Dial *713 *13 hash and vote for who you want to see on that grand stage.
Out of these 3, only one of them can make it to the finals.
And before I go, in 9 days, we party at the hottest event this Christmas, the 3FM All-Y party on the 28th of December at the La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, with exciting performances by Stoneboy, Manifest, Akwabwa, KK Fosu, and the newest addition to the lineup is Terminator Hitmaker, King Promise. DJs on rotation, we've got DJ Faculty, DJ Abiam, DJ Filter, and so much more. Hey party people, brace yourselves for the most electrifying event of the year. Get set because it's the 3FM All-Y party. Mark your calendars for the 28th of December and get your groove on at the stunning La Palm Royal Beach, kicking off at 7 p.m. Prepare for an epic night packed with non-stop fun and entertainment. We're talking about mind-blowing performances by Stoneboy, Manifest, Akwabwa, KK Fosu, and the hottest DJs on rotation, DJ Faculty, DJ Abiam, and DJ Filter. All this excitement for as low as 500 Ghana cedis. Gather your squad, bring a date or fly solo and have a blast. Snag your spot, whether it's a single seat at any table or book the whole table. We've got you covered. Dial 053-110-0927 now to reserve your table or individual seats. Don't miss out on this ultimate bash. Remember, dress to kill in your slickest all-white attire and be part of the grandest celebration of the season. So get hyped, get set, and let's party in absolute style at the 3FM All-Y party. Let's paint the night white with unforgettable memories. Don't miss out. So don't forget to mark your calendars and call 053-110-0927 for your table or individual seats reservations. Now it's happening on the 28th of December at the La Palm Royal Beach Hotel. And that's how we end the entertainment news segment here on Hot Edition, powered by 3 Entertainment. My name is Akofa. Thanks for your time. And Martin will be taking over now.
So on that note, on entertainment, we bring the bulletin to an end. Thank you very much for listening. If you visit our website, 3news.com, you have updates of all these stories and several others. My name is Martin Asiedu-Dartey. Stories we brought to you this evening. The Electoral Commission is facing a huge backlash after rescheduling district assembly elections in parts of the Eastern and Ashanti regions over unavailability of election materials and technical challenges. And then also, the SML Ghana Limited, the downstream petroleum service provider at the center of a recent Fourth Estate investigation, has challenged the latter, saying that they have done no wrong and are keeping close eyes on this, as the special prosecutor has also taken interest in the subject. That's how we bring the bulletin to an end. Have a good evening. Bye for now.